Good morning. It's Aggie with Artist Heart Studio. How are you guys? This is the Pedestal Punkin class that we are going to start on this morning. So here's what it looks like. If you haven't seen it yet, this is our Pedestal Punkin. Yay! And this is what we're going to be creating. Good morning, Marcia. How are you doing today? So this is a 12 by 24 inch canvas, and I'm going to gather my materials. I'm just going to show you really quickly what the materials are that you're going to need. Let me get my apron on. How are you today, Marcia? Can you just comment below? I'm sure you can hear me, but hey, Elaine, how are you, girl? Comment below, let me, so that I know for sure you can hear me and that Facebook is working right and all that good stuff. So, yeah, I really need this today. Lots of unrest in my town last night. And, art has always been therapy for me, and boy, do I need it today. So I'm glad you guys are here with me. So this is a safe place for us to be creative and have fun. That's what we need, right? Anyway, all right. So you need a canvas, and the templates that I shared, so I'm calling them tracers or templates, is going to work for you on this size of a canvas. So I created these files for you to download and print out. And basically you're going to make yourself a sheet like this, right? Which is going to give you these three shapes, okay? If you follow the instructions, you're going to be able to create this. You need, I would use tracing paper or any paper large, like a 9 by 12 sheet of paper, so that you can trace the shapes onto it. And then what I did is I simply cut out the shapes on a cardstock, and I got these three shapes. So one, which is from here, obviously. Cut this out from my master drawing, if you will. 1, 2, and 3. All right, so these are the three shapes. And then and that's going to be what I use to cut from my scrapbook paper. So I'm just going to put this down on here, trace it, and cut it out. And basically, I have, in this sample, I have used 5 coordinating sheets of scrapbook paper. 12 by 12 inch scrapbook paper is what I used. And I used 5 different sheets, as you can see here. You could use just 3 sheets if you wanted to, 1, 2, and 3, and then mirror them on the other side. And when you get your cutout that you create like this, obviously you can flip it the other way to do the other side. So that's the hard part. But once you get that, you'll be able to recreate this as many times as you want. So the other thing I included in this little set of tracers is, so does that make sense so far about figuring out how to get the pumpkin slice shapes? See, this one, it didn't fit on an 8.5 by 11 sheet of paper. As you can see, it got cut off at the bottom. That's why you need to get yourself a 9 by 12 sheet. And if you just trace this part, you can flip it the other way to get the bottom half, which is exactly what I did here. I kind of demoed this in a previous video. You just flip it to get the other way. You can flip-flop it every which way to get what you need to create the whole pumpkin. And then, like I said, I just traced it onto a 9 by 12 sheet really carefully, and I got these 3 shapes. So the other thing I've included, so does that make sense so far? Comment below if that part makes sense. At least that it's understandable what I'm saying. It'll make a lot more sense once you print out. You gotta download it and print it out. And if you scroll down, you'll see in my feed where I shared those files. So I'm waiting for anybody to ask any questions about that part. So if you have any questions about that part, just comment below. Meanwhile, I'm going to show you my papers. I kind of grabbed too many papers. And by the way, you can get those 12 by 24 inch canvases at Michael's. Sometimes I think they come in pairs. So you might even want to do 2 of these. So I knew I really wanted this one to be my main shape. You know, I like this a lot. And by the way, I'm going to use the same gray background that I used here. I love this gray. This paint that I used is a chalk paint. So it's very flat. I love that matte look against the glitter that I added to the pedestal and the leaves. So it offsets each other. And I just simply used Deco Art. This is from Hobby Lobby. The color is called Artifact. This is a really beautiful gray. So I'm going to use the same thing, and I'm going to paint that on this canvas in just a second. And that'll be the first thing I do, is to just get my whole canvas covered. I'm going to use a 2-inch chip brush and a makeup wedge. Where did it go? You can get these makeup wedges at Dollar Tree. They're the little triangular spongy looking things, and they're the greatest thing to use to paint the edge of a canvas. And of course I have to go grab another one. I had one out and I don't know where it went. Hopefully Charlie didn't eat it. My Charlie dog has been a little sick. He's just not eating. So yeah, this is a, you know, just a regular makeup wedge, and I get these in a pack from Dollar Tree. So let me show you my other papers, you guys. Tell me what you think. So I'm going to use this one, I think, along with this one and this one. And then I'm just going to, this one. And then I'm just going to reflect them on the other side. I'm going to repeat it. I mean, I do have 2 other ones, but I think it's going to be too busy if I use these. I don't know. What do you think? Should I use these also? Or should I use 5 or 3? You guys got to comment below and tell me. So this one would be in the middle, then this and this. I guess I could do this. This isn't bad. What do you think? Should I do it like that? 5 pieces? Or should I do it like this with just 3 pieces? What would you do? This one in the front though. Five or 3, let me know in the comments below. And then I did get another, I grabbed some gray papers too. So tell me what you think of these. Look how cute this is. It looks a little darker on camera than it appears in person. But I kind of later realized that gray on gray would probably be a little too cray-cray. You know? 1, 2... I could do this. 1, 2, 3. Would that be too much? I don't know. Gray on gray. I don't know. That might be nice. So we'll see. I might do a second one. I'm not getting any comments from you guys. Maybe I just can't see them. All right. So those are... I think I've kind of said all the materials, at least to get started. The canvas, like a big brush, a makeup wedge or a small brush, the paint, and you need to, you need a printer. You need to be able to print out those pictures. They're not. It's a PDF and I saved the images as PNG files so that you could easily print them. Marcia printed them out, right? Marcia, it wasn't that hard, right? Would you comment about that, please, for everybody else watching? Gosh, I don't even know if you guys can hear me. Maybe you can't. Oh gosh, I can't open this. So sometimes I whack it on the ground to loosen it. All right, let me comment on here. Oh, I can't comment, can I? Can you guys hear me? Can someone comment? Please. Or I might have to start the video over. Oh, gosh. So strange. Oops. And that's my chair that makes that goofy noise, by the way. So anyway, I'm just going to grab my brush and start painting, and I hope that you can hear me. And I'll give it a few more minutes. And see if anybody comments. And I'm kind of thinking if you don't, then something must be wrong. The only bad thing about chalk paint is sometimes you get little bits of stuff. So weird that there's no comments. So I'm just doing my brush strokes every which way. And I'm looking for any little pieces of stuff I don't want in there. And believe it or not, if you need to turn your canvas around, because sometimes you can see where you've missed when you turn it. I've done that so many times. I thought I had it really completely covered. I kind of push the paint into the weave of the canvas, but sometimes even with all my hard pushing, I still don't get it all the way in. And so if you turn the canvas, you'll see where you missed. So I'm just doing a nice even coat. Oh, maybe I'll just use this on the edges since my brush is so wet. And then we're going to let this dry. Maybe you guys are all off printing your documents. Maybe that's what's going on. So that's the first step, is getting this whole canvas painted. And I've got a nice big Dollar Tree tablecloth on my work surface. Sometimes it seems like it's from the paint, but it's actually on the canvas itself, the little doohickeys. All right, so that looks pretty good, I think. And I'm just gonna let that dry. And oh, my problem is that I probably have, like one thing I noticed when you go to close up this jar, little debris is on the tip of the jar, so you gotta be careful not to make that fall on top of anything important to you. So I'm gonna be using some matte gel. Hi, Scott. Hey, can you let me know if you can hear me? I can't see any comments, and I'm wondering if you guys can hear me. So I'm going to be using matte gel to adhere my scrapbook paper to the canvas. You could use Mod Podge, but I definitely recommend matte finish. They come in different sheens, and the matte finish is going to work best for you. But you don't have to use a brand name like Liquitex, which is expensive. I mean, you really could just use good old Mod Podge. Again, this one's the matte finish. Or here's one from Hobby Lobby. It's called Matte Gel. This works great also, and you can use your 40% off coupon. So it's just that I have the Liquitex one open, and it's easier to open today, so that's the only reason why that's the one I'm using. All right, so I am gonna rinse this brush out really quick and be right back. All right. See, I made this wet right here. So I don't want to get, all right, let me get this out of the way. And I'm going to lay this over on the other side. So again, this is what our sample looks like. And okay, I got to clean my fingers off too. Okay, so oh, I just dripped water on here, but that's okay. All right, let me grab a sheet of paper just so I don't get stuff on my scrapbook paper. Hold on. All right, so I've got a nice handy roll of like paper that I use all the time. I forget what this stuff is called. It's like butcher block paper, I guess, or something. So let's lay this here. Now I got a nice clean surface. And so I'll just go over the spacing with you on this really quick. Draw this on here with a Sharpie. Okay, so there's, I just drew it out. And I'll do some measuring for you. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna plan out where everything is gonna fit on here. We're gonna do this on our canvas, but right now my canvas is wet because I just painted it. So, okay, my ruler. So the pedestal is about 1.5 inches from the bottom. So I'm gonna put a tick mark here, 1.5 inches. And that could be what you start with. 1.5 inches. So if we go to our pedestal, let me write this down. So this from here to here is 1.5 inches. You guys able to see this? Oh, maybe I'll keep it this way. So it's 1.5 inches from the bottom. And if you go to our printouts, here's the pedestal drawing. So you could literally trace this right on there. There's a couple different ways you could do that. You could use, let me grab it. Oh, here's my graphite paper. Oh. I don't have my graphite paper, but you guys know what graphite paper is. You could put a sheet of graphite paper on here and trace with a red pen or a pen. You could cut this out and draw it on there, or you could put pencil or charcoal on the back and trace it. And that's what I do most often. I usually just put charcoal on the back. So let me grab that. Actually, you know what? I'm wondering if the charcoal bleeds, it might not wash off. Let me test it out on here. If you smear your charcoal later, it should wipe off. Yeah, it might go in the crevices a little bit. Yeah, maybe we don't want to use charcoal then. Okay, so what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna fold it in half and just trace it. And cut it out, I mean. So let me grab my scissors. I thought I had scissors, where'd I put them? So I'm just cutting out my pedestal. How's everybody doing today? Still waiting to see if you guys can hear me. I'm assuming that you can because I still have people watching. Maybe it's just that comments won't show up for some reason. You know what I should have done? I should have grabbed my another device to look at to see comments. I do have another iPhone, and of course I got an iPad, but I just didn't think to grab it. So I guess I'm just going to assume you guys are hearing me and you're probably commenting. I just can't see your comments. So if you do have questions, hopefully you have questions. But if you do have questions, I'll come back and answer them later. So anyway, now I cut that out, and I'll trace this onto my canvas when it's dry. When I get to this part though, I'm not going to cut all that out. For that, I'll use some carbon paper. I just have to find it, and I didn't want to have you guys sit here waiting for me while I'm looking for my carbon paper. Although I do have white carbon paper, graphite paper rather. So I suppose I could use this. I was looking for my black carbon paper, or graphite paper, but this is what it looks like. You can get this, you know, at the craft stores. Oh, I guess I never even opened this before. Or did I? Oh my goodness. Oh, here it is. Wow, this is all you get? A little sheet like this. So, oh, I wonder if this is even good. Look at this, is all you get in here. Maybe there was another sheet and I used it already. But that's white. So you would put it so that that side is down. And then when you draw, it will leave a white line. Hopefully that's going to work for me. I'll leave this out. All right, let's take a look at our canvas over here and see. I guess you're seeing this. Put this here. Let's see if this is dry yet. It's not totally dry. I'm going to hit it with the blow dryer. It's still just a little bit wet, so I'm going to hit it with the blow dryer. All right, so here's what I would do, is I would just measure, let's find the center. So this is 12 inches wide, so the center is 6. Just gonna put a little tick mark. I'm gonna measure 1.5 inches up from the bottom. It's right about here. And that is where I'm gonna put my pedestal. Right? So right about here. Try and make sure it's straight. Just wanted to make sure it looked straight. So I'm just tracing this pedestal shape onto my canvas. There's Charlie barking at somebody. right, so there's that. That looks good. Can you see it? All right, so I traced that on. I'm gonna paint that in black. So that's another thing you need. And I just bought this little one, and I decided to get chalk paint so that it's also a matte finish. So I'm gonna paint that in black. And the next thing I would put on here is the actual pumpkin. So let's get our tracing for that out. You know, I mean, here's my shapes. But I think I've got, let's see. So I think what I'm gonna do, I'm just gonna continue this center line. All right, let me cut this bottom here so I can see it better. I'm gonna cut right along the bottom of this. So I can put it right on there. And I'll put a little tick mark approximately where the top, I'm gonna draw a pencil line. So it's right about here at the top. And then I'm just gonna do, let's see, that's 6. So I'm gonna measure and put a tick mark for 6 here and near the top here. And that way I know I'm still on this exact center. Oh, sorry, my dog is barking like crazy. Okay, so I've got my center line in there. See that? And then what I could do is just take my piece number 1 and line it up. Well, let's see, I'll start with piece number 3. Let's do that. Oop, can't quite see that enough. Needs to go up just a little bit higher. Yeah. All right. Piece number 3. I should have left my center mark in here, but you can kind of tell where it is. So I'm going to trace this shape right on here. Okay. So I just traced that on there in pencil. And then I'm going to take my piece 2 and trace that on, and so on. And this is exactly how the papers are going to lay down, so just make sure you have it butting right up against that previous line. Okay, that's 2. I'm going to do it on the other side now. Just flip it the opposite way. And it should line up. Okay, and then piece number 1. And if it's off ever so slightly, don't worry, that's why we're going to add outlines around it. So I flipped it the other way, And I can see that this is off just slightly when I flip it the other way, but I'm really not going to worry about it. Just, you know, line it up the best you can. Oops, I went a little wide on my outline there. Let's see if I can erase that. Okay. So there it is. I've got all my lines on there. And honestly, from this point on, it's just a matter of executing the whole thing. Really, all you need to do, you know, you would paint this in with your black chalk paint, and then you would, once you get that on there, you could take this with your graphite paper. So let me show you that real quick. With my graphite paper, with the white facing down, first you want to get this in the position, the right position. You want to make sure you got it right where it's supposed to be. So I would actually cut it. So that you can see. So I cut it. Now I can lay it right over my drawing and see if I have it lined up. Well, I can kind of see. Yeah. And I could tape this down. Let me get some tape. I'll show you. I think I'm just so used to doing interactive classes, you know, with people in person. I'm used to people talking, and it just feels so weird that nobody's saying anything right now. So for all I know, you guys can't even hear me. I really don't know. All right, so I'm going to put this graphite paper down underneath, and then I'll use a red pen. I'm going to test and see if this is working. So let's see. Oh, I did it beyond where the graphite paper is. So let me turn it. Hello. And you know, you have to press nice and hard in there. I can see it. So it's very light, but I can see it. You know, or you may just want to do your own lines, you know. So I'm just tracing these little pumpkin leaves on here. And there they are. So I'll show you. It's very light. Very, very light. But it is on there. See the white lines. Now I guess what I could do is I could just draw over them in black. Why don't I do that? And what I'm going to do is draw the line in the center of the thing. I guess I had that a little low. All right, so that's a little bit better. Now I can see it a little bit better. And then I would just repeat the same thing on the other side, and the same thing for, these are the vines that go at the top of the pumpkin. Oh, actually what I need is a little stem up here. You can make that as big or as small as you would like. But there's my stem, and then I would have the vines coming out of that, however you want. Or you could even just do them freehand. So, all right, let me just show you how to at least glue down one of the pieces. All right, so I'm going to take my first sheet and I'm going to trace, you know, decide what part you want on there. And I'm going to trace this on here and cut it out. And it's okay if your pencil line shows. We are going to paint over this line with our black chalk paint. So I'm just cutting out the center piece first, and I'm going to glue this on. Now I'm going to cut this off of here. This is too much of a pain in the butt when I go to put it back with my papers. And that's a scrap. All right, so here's my piece number one. But you know what I think I want to do? And which way does it go? I think I want to paint first. Yeah. I'm going to paint this in first, and then I'm going to glue them on. But I can go ahead and cut out my shapes. So that's piece number 3. Here's piece number 2. I want the white in the middle. And again, I'm going to trace this with my red pen. It's just easier to see. Okay, so I'm going to cut that out, and piece number 1 is from this, which I think I want this way. Yeah, I think it goes this way. And I want to make sure I get some leaves on there, so, you know, figure out what part's going to show when you're doing this. Okay. You know, move your paper so that it's in the spot that'll really show the pattern the way you want to. And I would love to see what patterns you guys are using. Please share your pics below of your scrapbook papers that you're using. And are you going to use a gray background? You don't have to use the artifact gray. You know, you could use any color you want. Of course. That's what's so cool about this. They're all going to look really different. All right, so let me just cut this. Put that back there. So then I'm going to cut this out. I'm going to cut this out. And then I'll have my pieces. Oh, I forgot, I need to do the other side. Hello. So I'm going to flip this way now and trace this on here and cut the other side. Almost forgot. Okay, so here's this piece for the other side. And piece number 1 is going to be this one. Flipped this way. This one I wind up using a whole sheet, but that's okay. I mean, you can have any theme you want on your pumpkin. I just bought my, for my granddaughter and my grandson, I had bought one scrapbook about sailboats for Elijah and another scrapbook about mermaids for Hannah. And I was thinking, well, I could do a mermaid pumpkin and a sailboat pumpkin if I really wanted to. All right, let's cut this one out for the heck of it. I don't know if you guys want me to show the whole thing today or what. Probably I'm going to end. I think I'm going to end after this. This is probably enough. I think it's going to be an hour. We're going on an hour here. Yeah. All right, so this one goes here. Oh yeah, that's going to look nice. This is garbage. Yeah, I think it's going to look pretty nice. What do you think? Yeah, with black outlines. And then I'm going to use a gold glitter glue on top of the black outlines. Isn't that going to be cool? I think so. Yes. All right, let me cut out this side. So it's important to have really comfortable scissors. to do this. And I remember when I had a little one at home. She's now all grown up and she's got little ones at home, but I remember when she was little, I could never find scissors or tape or glue or markers. She would always raid my stash and get my stuff. Anybody else know what I'm talking about? And we were talking about this the other day. For some reason, we used to go into Walgreens all the time too. And we haven't been in Walgreens in years now. And we were like, okay, why did we always go into Walgreens? And it was because we always needed batteries for her, for my daughter, for her CD player or this or that or the other thing. And candy. We were always going in there to get candy. Now we don't do that now. Either that or cards too. What's the main reason you run into Walgreens? Probably for cards, right? Now I make my own cards. Should have been making them back then too, but all right, there's that piece. Here's this one. So, yeah, like I say, I would paint first. I'm going to paint my black pedestal, and I'm probably going to end this. We're right up on 11 o'clock here. Comment below if you want me to paint that in front of you guys. Do you need me to paint that in front of you, or are you guys okay with that? If you want me to demo how to paint it, I will paint it. It's just basically, I would use like maybe a size 8 round brush and just paint that pedestal, paint the stem of your pumpkin, and then, you know, trace your little, actually, you know what? I will demo how to do the vines. So I would say just paint your pedestal and your stem, cut out your shapes, and then you'll be ready. For tomorrow, I'll show you how to glue them down onto your canvas using matte gel medium or Mod Podge in matte. And then I'll show you how to paint the vines on, and then the last step will be embellishing it with the glitter glue. If you want. You may not even want to do glitter glue, but how could you not want to do that? I say. Glitter. Oh yeah, I love glitter. And again, if you cut these out and you go and lay them down and they're not perfect, do not worry about that. We're going to paint lines over the seams to hide any flaws. And that's another reason why the glitter glue is a good thing to use. It kind of hides the flaws as well. All right. Did this one go here or there? Yay, I got all my pieces cut out. So there we go. And that's it for today. Oh, still can't believe I can't see any comments. I hope that when I sign off and I come back and look at this video, there's a ton of comments from you guys. If you know anybody else that might want to do this, please tag them, let them know. And that's it for today, you guys. Thank you so much for joining me. I think I can be back here tomorrow at the same time, 10 o'clock, and show you those next steps that we talked about. All right, have a good one. Bye.